Peace was good. Salih coming back at you with another video. In this video, I want to get into spiritual parents and the deities that created your soul. Spiritual parents and the deities that created your soul. And this is one of the videos that it's going to either resonate with you or not resonate with you, to be completely honest. I expect a lot of people to hit dislike, and I expect people to comment, because I'm going to leave the comments and the ratings on. But I expect a lot of people to dislike it and a lot of people to leave negative comments. Because this topic is one of those things where a lot of times you're not going to have proof. People have their personal proof, and I have my own personal experiences. That's why I can speak very openly and candidly about this subject matter. But it's one of those things where if you haven't had any experiences, or if you haven't had know someone who's had experiences, then it's going to be kind of far-fetched for most people. But if your soul is resonating with this information, then this is perfect for you. So first off, I want to pay homage and respect and all honors to the master, Dr. Mitchell Gibson, Tybro.com, Tybro.com. He is, as far as I know, he is the one person that was the catalyst for a lot of people identifying with spiritual parents, paying homage to the deities that quote unquote created your soul. And from my research or from my experience, I haven't seen anyone in the West who was a catalyst for many people connecting with the gods in that sort of way. According to his teachings, Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson, each one of us have either a deity or a demon or an angel that is part of our higher self or created our soul. And our job here as humans is to reach that potential within us. So if your spiritual parent or the being that created your soul was a god, then your mission here on earth is to elevate yourself to the highest aspirations of what that deity represents. So spiritual parents can be looked at as deities, angels, or even demons who created your soul. Now, most people that's listening to this, watching this video, you probably have an angel or deity that created your soul. The people that have a negative beings, they probably aren't going to be interested on like reaching that highest aspiration. Let's put it like that. They're probably going to go through it a different way. But if you are interested in this, and I know a lot of people are, by following the teachings of the master and also by following my teachings, where I speak about a lot of times they're connected with the deities. Now, the best thing I feel like I've done on my spiritual path was setting up an altar and putting my spiritual parents on there. To give a little backdrop on how I came to know my spiritual parents, the first consultation that I had with Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson, the second question that I had was, who were my spiritual parents? Actually, it was the first question I had. And it was funny because leading up to that consultation, I was already having the god Tehuti coming through. Tehuti is also called Thoth. According to the master, he also calls him the Deities. And I had Tehuti coming through hard body, where it was like obvious. I was like, if he's not one of my spiritual parents, I'm going to be very surprised. Probably about a week before I talked to the master, Dr. Mitchell Gibson, I had a student in Florida, and he called me out the blue, randomly, and was just telling me about this experience he was having with a deity. I forget the name that he pinned on the deity, but he told me that you would call this deity Tehuti, but in my native language, we call the deity XYZ. I don't recall the name. But he called me out the blue. Coincidentally, it was in connection with a deity that I was already starting to experience supernatural phenomenon with. So I knew that was a confirmation. And then a week later, when I talked to the master, Dr. Mitchell Gibson, he told me one of my spiritual parents happened to be Tehuti. Now I'm sharing this with you because when I put Tehuti on the altar along with my other two spiritual parents, my life started to change. I started receiving different information. I started having different people come into my life. Different resources became available to me. It's like the floodgates of information in my consciousness expanded by connecting with these deities that we call our spiritual parents. In fact, this was the catalyst that prompted the book that I just produced called the Deity Linkage Manual. Me connecting with my spiritual parents prompted this. There's no mistake that tehuti is on the front. In the system that I use to create the deity list, we call the system tehuti numerology. So you put two and two together and figure out what's going on. But I also want to recommend another book, and this is the first book that I got dealing with the altars, was Discovering Your Spiritual Parents by the Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson. It says Michael S. DeJohnte, but that's just a pen name for Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson. And you can find this at tybro.com. And during that book, and I got the book after I knew who my spiritual parents were, but there was different techniques dealing with the altar, and plus I wanted to help other people. But after I got the book, read it, digested it, I realized that all the stuff in there I was already doing except for one thing, which I switched it up, and it elevated my altar game to a whole nother level where I felt a significant increase. That's another catalyst that prompted the book. So the spiritual parents, there's a few ways that you can discover who your spiritual parents are. Obviously, shameless promo, the books. These books will help you find out who your spiritual parents are and or deities that you can work with. Another way that you can find out, and this is the way I found out, is by connecting with a true master who has the ability to identify deities around you, angels and elementals that are around you. There are certain masters, I only can recommend one at this point, but he's no longer doing consultations. I don't have the ability right now where I can clearly identify, but by way of my training, my spiritual training, I do have the ability to hook people up with certain deities. I cannot guarantee that it's a spiritual parent. That is a gift I'm still working on. But if you hear of someone, or if you know someone and trust someone, maybe you can connect with that person. If you're interested with me, go to our website and you can click on services, and we have a service called Deity Linkage Reading, where I basically use the techniques in the book, dealing with numerology in order to connect you with particular deities. The last way, and this way, is free. It doesn't require you to buy anything, but you have to do something. And this is a technique that I laid out in the book, Deity Linkage Manual. One of the things that you can do is read various mythologies and stories, myths, in different pantheons. So look at the ancient Kemet, ancient Hindu, and just various pantheons. Just read their mythologies. There'll be particular deities, gods and goddesses that stick out to you. It might be a name, it might be the way they look, or more importantly, it may be like an attribute or characteristics. For instance, with me, Tehuti's big into magic. So there's no coincidence that one of the gifts that I seemingly have and one of my interests has a lot to do with magic. That's not a mistake. So if you're reading the mythos and you kind of see yourself in a character, more than likely that deity is, it's safe to say you can work with that deity. Once again, I can't guarantee that that deity is one that created your soul. But as far as working with it, that's something you can do rather easily. So read the various mythology stories, the creation myths, and just see if a character sticks out. See if a god or goddess sticks out to you. More than likely it will. And the best way to connect with these deities is altar. Y'all hear me speak about altars all the time. We have videos showing you how to set up altars. On our website, we have various articles showing you how to set up the altar, how to work with the altar. And obviously now we have the book, Deity Linkage Manual, that showed you not only the deities that you can work with, but it's also a chapter called Altar Work, where you can learn different techniques dealing with the altar. Even if you're already into altars, there's information in there that can elevate your altar game to a whole nother level. So hopefully this information has served as benefit for you. Be sure to visit our website, thirdeyeactivation.com, for metaphysical and holistic products and services and information. We have, I want to say, probably about 130 products and services at this point, and probably about 100 articles. So there's various information dealing with spirituality, metaphysics, and the occult. So until next time, peace.